Good afternoon, everybody. Ragnarok Ranger from the Ragnarok Theory coming at you once more from the bunker. Loads of new stuff on the walls. If you don't want to look at my face, feel free to have a bit of an investigate. Weren't really sure if I was going to get time to make a video today, basically because I've been on a day shift. Finished at about just before 2:30. Didn't get home till 3. Going out to badminton in a bit, seeing as I got the opportunity using an evening up. However, I've got some time, so I've put a little bit of thought during today, while out at work, a bit of content I won't mind bringing over to you. So, reason I was thinking about this is the video I put up earlier was just in case, and that were a walk that we did while we were in the lakes last week. We just went up there Thursday, came back Saturday, did a bit of walking. And before we went, they were messing about with the water tap out on the street, and the idiots broke it. And so they came round saying, "Oh, has your water been off?" And I checked it hadn't, and our tap is separate. However, we got this notification that the water pressure may be really reduced, or the water might not be working. So when we came back, obviously the first thing we did, check the water. When I first turned stuff on, nothing came through, and it just exploded everywhere because the water had clearly been off. The boiler had dropped and were empty. We had to fill it back up. So then when we first ran the shower, that's exploded everywhere. So it just shows that we could have ended up being without water. Fortunately, I've got 10, 20, 30, I've got 40 litres minimum stored at all times in here as a backup. And clearly, just in that situation, we could have gone and bought more if we'd needed, or they would have had to put a water bowser outside at some point. So this got me thinking a little bit. So first of all, I'm just going to run through a few little definitions for you, and then land back where I want to be for content. So, okay, survival. I'm not on about trading, I'm on about true survival. Is you could be driving through Islands of Scotland, your car breaks down, you've got absolutely no signal, you can't raise help, and if you've got nothing with you, there's a good chance you're going to perish. Yeah, especially if it's like you've got stuck in bad weather and stuff like that. You could be walking on holiday, slip 50 foot down edge of a cliff and be nearly dead on a ledge, right? But you've got enough about you to at least get your own first aid done, and you've got some food, and you've got a bit of warm clothing you can put on, and a few things to signal with for rescue. Yeah, survival. War, survival. Yeah, it's just like these are real situations. Even being down to becoming homeless and having nowhere to go, you're then in survival mode, right? That's not what we actually want to talk about today. However, bushcrafting, it's scouting for grown-ups, let's be honest. It's good fun. I do bushcrafting, and some of the techniques are crisscross over, but the two things you often see with bushcrafters is a massive BOV, bug out vehicle, or a massive bug out bag. Yeah, and they're off to the woods with everybody else. It's absolute unrealistic nonsense. If the shit hits the fan, proper SHFT, rule of law breaks down, everything breaks down. Hiding in the woods with a couple of friends is not going to cut it. It's just as simple as that. Not once it becomes dog eat dog, which it will. Right, so bushcrafting, although there's some good skills you can learn from it, it's fun. Yeah, get out there, enjoy it. It's not survival, okay? And it's not realistically a long-term survival strategy, just being a little bit good at bushcraft. Because if you lost all that kit, what are you going to do? If you only had the little emergency tin with you with a few bits in, what are you going to do if you start having a big generator and a backup power bank, and it goes on, doesn't it? Okay. Prepping. Prepping is something we all do naturally, whether we think about it or not. We make a list, we go to the supermarket, we buy that list. We've already prepared the list, we know what we want to last for a week until we get paid and we go shopping again. You're going out to nightclubs tonight. Oh, you'll put on your makeup or put on your aftershave. You're preparing yourself for that activity. So the word prepping shouldn't be a scary thing. Everybody does it naturally. Okay, so when you transfer that back to real life and situations that can occur, why wouldn't we be prepared? Like having that water. Yes, I've got other stuff, I've got stored food and stuff, but that water could have just been a lifesaver. We got on for lakes, if we'd got no water, I had 40 litres of the stuff, right? And it's ready to drink. Yeah, you could filter it again just to be sure, but it's ready to drink. It's that water. I'd happily leave it for up to a year if I needed and still just filter it through and drink it. Okay. Off-grid, right? To me, this word's just a bit nonsense now, because everyone goes, oh, we're off-grid, but they're not, because they're still going to the supermarket, right? They're still on the internet, right? You're not off-grid, right? So they've turned this word upside down on its head, right? Off-grid would mean off-grid. You've got nothing, right? You're not communicating without it. You'd be self-sufficient, right? So off-grid isn't really what people pretend it is anymore, is it? It's a word they use so they can come onto YouTube or other social medias and go, oh, I'm off-grid, I've got this, I've got that, right? Again, influencers, nonsense, right? Homesteading. Homesteading is absolutely fantastic, and if you want to see the perfect example of how to homestead properly, look at the Amish people, because they've been doing it for hundreds of years unchanged, and they are the clever human beings out there who actually know it all. And their philosophy is they're genuinely nice people. They do keep themselves to themselves, but if you were in real need, I actually believe the Amish would help you. Yeah, you know, they're really that kind of a people. Yeah. But homesteading is having a little place of your own, like literally you don't need the internet, you grow all your own food, you kill all your own animals if you're gonna eat meat, yeah, and you build everything up from scratch, and you're living on wood fires, and you might be making candles or something, or fire torches, yeah, but you're away from society. And I see a homesteading is after SHFT, when things start coming back to life a little bit, homesteading would be more, to me, the road that people would be going, because we'd be like living in like pre-Anglo-Saxon England times, if you like. There'd be nothing, right? So them skills at that point become really, really important. Some people do it now, but you don't really know they're there because they don't make a big thing about it. If you've ever seen Ben Fogle's Lives in the Wild, we've seen Ben live, we've seen him talk, he's a great guy, and some of the stuff he's done is really good. And the original series where they were really going out and like meeting people who were crofters and that and stuff like that, and until they were approached by a TV programme, no one knew they were there. They didn't make a big fuss about it. It's not about being off-grid, it's not about influencing and being on social media, it's a way of life. So that's homesteading. Okay, there's two different kinds of survival, very distinct, major ones, and that's wilderness. I mean, you could add ocean-born into there if you were on a ship and something went wrong, but wilderness and urban, right? Wilderness, we all talk about quite a lot, and we'll on this channel go back into wilderness survival and bushcrafting techniques quite a lot, right? That's the bread and butter. But urban survival, right? Even like now, if I hadn't had that water stored and with no water, we were up the creek, weren't we? Yeah. So it really starts with, it's slightly different than you, because you don't need all the same kit that you're going to need if you're putting a rucksack off and you're back and you're getting out there, right? But I would say shelter. Most of us have got shelter of some description. Yes, there are homeless people who haven't got shelter. I get that, but that's unfortunately not the target group I'm talking to here. Yeah, because to be honest, most people who are genuinely homeless are great survivors, aren't they? They're out there surviving. Yeah, it's an hard life, but they're doing it. Yeah. So we've got shelter. So we're out of the elements. We've got a degree of warmth, and most of us have got quilts and blankets and pillows in his house and clothes, and if you like us, we've got sleeping bags, we've got all this stuff. So being warm, even if you can't light a fire, being warm isn't an issue. Okay, so as long as you're working from a base and you've got shelter, okay, you've got something already, yeah. But the big one, again, to me, Ian, is going to be water, right? What people don't understand is if the energy grid was to go down, right, within a couple of hours there'll be no water in your taps, your boiler won't refill, there'll suddenly be no hot water available, right, and your toilet won't flush. Not many people think about that. And if you go to the toilet and bung it up, what are you going to do? So you're going to end up pooing in a garden patch, right? You need to wash your hands, right? So when you actually think about the amount of water you need in reality per day, even just for like me and my partner, two of us, that's quite a lot of water. You'd really have to ration, wouldn't you? What you can't ration is how much you need to drink. Yeah, there's a basic amount you need to drink to stay alive. Yeah, and I'm not going into targets and stuff like that. If you're thirsty, you need to drink, and it's just as simple as that. Right? It's not that hard to store water. You can buy the big catchments and wait while it rains and slowly fill up rainwater. You'd still have to filter it. It's coming from the air. There's aeroplanes going across the sky all the time and helicopters. Yeah, so don't tell me that the rain's coming down through these clouds and not getting some rubbish in it. Yeah, so I'd still filter rainwater. I won't be trying to just drink it. You may be lucky enough to live near a reservoir or something where you could go and drink a few buckets a day, filter it, purify it, and drink that. Because let's be honest, reservoirs where your drinking water comes from. Right? Pre-bottled water, you can buy it in various size tubs. The problem is storage, right? And tap water, right, which is what's stored in my bottle, is already chlorinated. You don't have to talk to it. You can store it. It's ready to drink. Right? The longer I leave it, I might put it through a filter to drink it. But you know, you've got long-term water sufficiency. It's very hard to store lots and lots unless you're going to go like these real preppers that will stand 4 bottles and put a tabletop on it and call that the table, so and store it in very strange places. Right? So there's a certain amount I've got in my head that I am going to ultimately store. It's going to be at least double what we've got there, right? Because I know that really 10 litres a day minimum, me and Lisa's probably going to be going through. And when you think about cleanliness, you can stock up on body wipes that you can literally clean your whole body with, because you can't really afford showers and baths in them situations, can you? But who wants to be a honker? You don't, do you? You want to be clean. We're human beings, and we're at that stage of evolution where we don't have to lick ourselves under armpits or other interesting places to clean ourselves. We can do it. Okay. You can even get dry foam now for shaving that you can store up if you really wanted. Okay, so water, food. Now, your fridge is going to go off if there's no electrics. The fridge goes off regular now. They won't reimburse you for its contents unless it's off for like minimum 7 hours. It used to be 3. What they learn, they don't get it fixed in time and they pay loads of money back. So now I think it's 7 hours now before they'll reimburse you for contents of your fridge and your freezer, which is a bit shocking. And you're not going to be able to eat it all up, are you? If you've got a full fridge and freezer, it's going to be gone in it, a lot of it. So you're not going to be eating fresh. Now, proper preppers and that, they go into canning their own foods, but the word canning, whether it's in a bottle or a can, right, it's already done for you in a can. Right, so that's the easiest way that you can store food, right, is in a can. Right, it's got a long life. Most of it is ready to eat cold out of a tin if you've got no way of cooking. Don't matter. If you're hungry, you'll eat it, and it will keep you alive. And dehydrated rations, so like your pastas and stuff like that. Now, everything we've got, ultimately, I'm going to be putting it into my, oh my God, what's it called? Oh, you know the machines that suck all the air out of the bag? It's gone straight on my old head. Right, I've got one of them. Yeah, and so you just vacuum seal. Yeah. Right, I'm getting some vacuum sealable bags, and I'm going to split it all up into portions. Boom. Right, the problem is dehydrated food needs water. It's inedible, isn't it? You won't just get a bag of pasta out and chew it, would you? Because then you need water to drink to get it down with. So dehydrated, okay, if you've got a sustainable water source. Otherwise, you're back to canned food. There's nothing wrong with it, except it's over salted and stuff like that. Have we got enough water around to be like washing it all off? No, we haven't. And at that point, the salt is as important as anything. Even for me, someone who has to be on a low sodium diet now, salt is important. You can't do without it completely. Okay, and the other thing that you've got to think about is first aid, right? And sickness, illness. Have a good store of medications, basic over-the-counter medications, your paracetamols, your aspirins, your cough medicines, things like that, in a cupboard, and a decent first aid kit, right? Because when there's no water to clean yourself properly and you get a cut, that could be your arm off before you know it. And it's not good when all you've got's a Victorinox saw and a tourniquet for chopping your own arm off, is it? You don't want to go there, right? So, yeah, think about these things in advance. And again, hygiene, like I said, stuck up on like body wipes and wipes, things you can clean yourself with. You know, me and my partner, we've been together like 17 years. I'm sure we don't mind washing each other's backs if it comes to it, right? And the last thing I'm going to mention is blackout blinds or big blankets, something that you can hang over your windows. Because the sensible thing to me in a really bad situation is make one room your hunkering down room that you can also secure against people if it did come to that stage where people's trying to get in for the things you've got, right? And it's easy to keep one room warm. The cooker's not working, the fires aren't working, the heating's not coming on, the toilet's not working. So find your smallest room and live in that space, bring all your kit into it, right? And black the windows out, because if you are going to burn candles, you don't want people knowing you've got candles. If you've got a battery light on, you don't want people to know you've got that light. And if you are cooking, you're wanting to like keep the smell down to a minimum. You don't want people to know you're cooking, right? Because you've got something they haven't, that they want, because you were prepared and they weren't. I'm going to leave this video at that. I'm glad I got time to film one. Remember, we don't prepare to survive, we prepare in case we survive. Survival is an instinct. Instinct is absolutely everything. Catch you next time. Stay safe out there. See you all later.